Everyone, I'm Youssef.
My name is Medha.
My name is Kaushik.
My name is Miraal.
My name is HengJia.
My name is Shehab.
My name is Aimee.
My name is Ali.
My name is Shawn.
My name is Hanna.
My name is Jeff.
Hey everyone, for those of you who don't know me, I'm from Costa. I'm an incoming second year student at the Rutland Commerce program, which is for business in the University of Toronto. And I recently came across a few YouTube videos like this one and that one, where students talk about their experiences in different Canadian universities. And I thought, we need one that's specific for students pursuing a career in business. So I reached out to my friends at a network that have interest in business, and so I managed to get the perspective from 10 different Canadian universities that I'll be sharing in this video. The format is kind of a Q&A, so I ask them questions that many high school students have going into university, and they'll answer it based on their experiences. If you have any questions that weren't answered by the people in this video and about specific programs, you can reach out to them on their social media linked down below in the description, as well as you'll see the timestamps for the different questions and when they were asked and the specific people who answered each question. So without further ado, here's the video.
Hi, my name is HengJia, and I just finished my first year of Queen's Commerce at the Smith School of Business.
My name is Miraal. I'm a first-year student at the University of Waterloo and Laurier University studying computer science and business.
Hey everyone, my name is Kaushik. I'm from the University of Ottawa, and I'm currently heading into my second year in accounting this fall.
Hi, my name is Medha. I'm going into my second year at the University of Toronto. I am currently in the Rutland Commerce program, so I'm pursuing a specialization in management with a focus in marketing, and I'm also doing a major in drama, theater, and performance studies. And I'm wearing my UofT merch, and I was gonna wear my Rutland hat, but I thought it would be a little too geeky.
Hi, my name is Shehab. I'm going to my second year at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. I'm doing a BSc degree, a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics and Statistics with a minor in Computer Science.
Hey everyone, my name is Ali and I just finished first year at Western University studying social science. Today I'll be talking to you about the business journey at Western, how to navigate through it, why I chose it, and some tips along the way.
Hi, my name's Aimee, and I go to Ryerson University. I study business management, majoring in global management studies, and I'm a first year.
Hi everyone, I'm Youssef, and I go to Carleton's Sprott School of Business. I study commerce, and I just finished my first year, and I'm heading on to second year.
Hi, my name is Hanna, and I go to McMaster University. I'm in the Art Sciences program, and I'm going into my second year.
Hello, my name is Shawn. I'm currently going to my second year of the Accounting Co-op program in the Goodman School of Business located at Brock University.
So why UBC? There are a couple of reasons why I chose UBC. One of the aspects, not necessarily the main aspect, was the prestige of the university. The Sauder School of Business does come under one of the best in Canada and one of the best business schools in the world. It has great networking and career opportunities. And there's also, more importantly for me, the Vancouver School of Economics. The Vancouver School of Economics is the best in Canada. And I think it ranks around top 10, top 15 in the world. And it has amazing faculty, very decorated, doing a lot of research right here on campus. And it's just a very nice place to be at. The other one is, of course, the location. Vancouver is an amazing location. We have sun most of the time, but if not sun, then it's generally rain. There's a lot of rain as well, but I really like the rain. There's also a little bit of snow, but it's known that we have all the seasons, and more importantly, we do have a lot of events here on campus and off campus, and it's just a very great environment and vibe. And they call it beautiful British Columbia for a reason, and Vancouver is a very beautiful place. And last but certainly not the least, is because it appeared to be cheaper for me as opposed to my other options. I did receive a scholarship. It's called the International Leader of Tomorrow Scholarship. And with that scholarship, I did receive full funding. And that did relieve some of the financial stresses my family could be having had I gone to another university. So definitely UBC aligned perfectly with what my family situation was, but more importantly, what my career aspirations are.
So there are two main reasons that I chose UofT. I think the first one that everybody knows and everybody kind of agrees with is location. So being in the heart of downtown is an irreplaceable experience. Like, it's like no other. For example, like, all of the businesses are downtown. So when you're pursuing internships and jobs and opportunities, it's really strategic having to go to school at the same place where all of these opportunities are. And like, personally, I'm really interested in the arts. So like, being able to audition for shows and dance for companies while being downtown while going to school was an amazing selling point. I think that there's endless opportunities for fun. So like in the middle of the school week, and U of T doesn't really allow for this with how hard it is academically, but if you make time for it, in the middle of the school week, you can go ice skating at Nathan Phillips, or you can go to Eaton Center and go shopping. Like, it's so fun because there's so much to do. And the second reason I chose the University of Toronto is reputation. So Rotman does have a reputation. It has a prestige, it has a backing to it, to its degree, which I thought was really important, especially because personally I'm trying to pursue a career in the arts after university. So having that backing to my bachelor's degree was really important to me. Another thing that a lot of people don't know is Rotman, regardless of whether you're going into marketing, if you're going into accounting, they give you a very versatile degree. So you're studying finance, you're studying economics, you're studying accounting, even if those aren't the things that you're specializing in. And that was really important to me. I feel like Rotman specifically doesn't pigeonhole you in one place really early on, like a lot of other programs do. No shade.
I would say that I chose Queen's for two main reasons. The first one being the campus. Queen's University is located in Kingston, Ontario. We do have the privilege of studying right next to a beautiful pier, so whether that be taking a walk after your exam cramming sessions, or maybe taking a look around campus right after dinner. It's definitely a beautiful place to relax and study as well. And the second reason I want to highlight is my program specific. Queen's Commerce is definitely known to be one of the top programs for business in Canada. Within my program, I also want to touch on the small class sizes. Within first year, you're guaranteed to a maximum of 80 kids per class, with the exception of economics, which is actually an art science course. Within there, you're going to be getting approximately 200 kids. The smaller class sizes really allow for tailored interaction between students and professors. Really, you don't get that intimidating environment that you would do across other universities, maybe where they have up to 500 kids. I also want to highlight the international exchange opportunity available for Smith Commerce students in third year. Almost 85% of the students actually do end up going on exchange in third year. And however many students are actually sent out, the same number comes in. So whether you choose to go on exchange or not, you really do get the privilege of having that international exposure.
I decided to go to the University of Waterloo and Laurier just because of the program that they were offering. I wasn't so sure about how I'd like the campus and the town, but the program was really compelling to me, and that's why I chose the university.
The reason I chose the University of Ottawa is because I wanted to have a good time, as well as better my professional career. And this university allows me to do so through the use of their extracurriculars, clubs, as well as multiple social events throughout the year.
So I chose Ryerson University because it's actually located in downtown Toronto, and for my program it has many different opportunities for me to experience. Ted Rogers School of Management faculty, they actually offer a lot of different co-op programs, case competitions, and networking events for me to further gain more academic connections, and as well as friendships to further develop my skills to work in a professional environment.
Western's been my dream school for quite a while now, and that's because it's very inclusive, engaging, and diverse. There are over 200 extracurricular clubs that you can join, a very diverse course load, and events happening basically every single day that you can be a part of and join.
I chose Carleton. Honestly, like for me, it's a little bit different. I went to high school in Ottawa, and I wasn't really planning on moving for post-secondary. So I decided that I was either going to choose Ottawa U or Carleton, so Telford or Sprott. And academically speaking, I asked a bunch of people, looked at a bunch of reviews and all that, and the difference was like almost non-existent, to be honest. So I decided to just go with what I like more, and I honestly like the Carleton campus and the vibe, I guess, like a lot more than Ottawa. So yeah, that's why I chose Carleton.
I made my decision a couple minutes before the deadline. I was really unsure what I wanted to do. But at the end of the day, I was choosing between McGill, Waterloo, and McMaster, and I decided that education was the most important thing to me rather than the environment, because my program is very small and it offers a diverse amount of educational tools that I can use in the future. And it really focuses on critical thinking, so that's probably why I chose my university.
There's three main factors on why I chose Brock University. First is they have a great and competitive accounting program. It allows you to accelerate your CPA route. If you don't know what a CPA is, it's a certification that certifies you as a public accountant, which is known internationally. After you complete your undergraduate and your Master of Accountancy, you're allowed to go straight to your CFE exam, which is your CPA exam, after 5 years. Also, Brock has the third largest co-op program in the province, allowing you 4 co-op placements within your undergraduate, as well as there's many opportunities for leadership positions in student clubs, allowing you to become a very competitive candidate.
I think my story about transitioning from a high school to university is not a different one. A lot of people have probably come from a small country or a small community where they felt so tightly knit to, and then they come to a huge university with a lot of faculty, with a lot of students, and they're just trying to get accustomed to life in that country and in that university. So I definitely felt the struggles of moving to a new continent, a new country for the first time in my life, and trying to settle down and sort of experience everything as it goes. And I think the support network at UBC was very important for me to sort of have the transition go on smoothly, and so that it does not affect my personal well-being or my grades. And I was very lucky and thankful to have multiple advisors help me and help me walk through the steps in order to transition perfectly into the university environment. I think one of the key aspects to university transitioning is to find the right support group. And by support group, I mean the right friends. It can be very hard to find friends for a lot of people. And I do feel that since everyone is going through that first year university experience, it is very important that you do make as many friends as possible and try to step out as much as you can from your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is going to be your enemy, especially in the first few weeks, because you're so used to not having those many friends probably. So stepping completely out of your comfort zone and trying to get to know as many people as you can, regardless of if they become your friend. I saw this amazing quote where it says that nobody is a stranger to you. They're just your potential friends. They're people who could be your friends. And you always have to tap into that potential of them being your friends. In terms of university life, in terms of academics, I think academics, it was certainly much harder than in high school. I did do the International Baccalaureate curriculum. And although that was pretty rigorous, I found university to be much more rigorous. I think just keeping on track and on time in terms of your lectures, in terms of reading, was super important. And it sort of just culminates. And once you sort of follow that rhythm, then your life just sort of falls into place where your academics are going well, and then your social life and your events are going very well.
I'm going to split my answer up into 3 parts. The first one is academics. There is so much hype going into university about how hard it is and how rigorous it is, especially at UofT, and they say it's really, really tough. But I wouldn't let that get to you, wouldn't let that get in your head. It is what you make of it, right? Like, it is going to be hard. You are going to see a mark drop, but that's okay. Just go, do your best. I think the biggest change that I'm sure you've already heard a million times is you have to regulate yourself better, have to have better time management. So that's the one big difference that a lot of people struggle with, but you'll catch on. The transition socially, especially being downtown Toronto, it is kind of lonely when you first come as a first year. Because in high school, you're so used to constantly being around your friends. You're with your friends in classes, between classes, after school, before school. Whereas at university, you kind of are doing things on your own, going into your own classes. Sometimes you're eating on your own. And like being okay with that takes some time. So that transition was a little difficult for me and a lot of people. And the last thing, especially coming from UofT, that I want to talk about is mental health. So a lot of people struggle with their mental health, especially coming into UofT. It is hard academically. Some people have trouble finding this sense of community. Therefore, their mental health suffers. So my biggest thing is to help with that transition, stay in touch with your doctor. UofT does have a lot of resources and support available. You just have to go out and find it. So just like keep in touch with yourself, stay aware of that. Was it easy to make new friends and settle into university? Yes. I made the best friends at university because of residence, because of Frosh Week, because of classes, just like saying hi to people, saying hi to first years. Join clubs is my biggest piece of advice. If you're commuting, it is a little harder to make friends, but it's still so easy. Say hi to people. They're just as scared as you are. Find other people that are commuting from the same town so you can be like commuter buddies.
Personally, I didn't find the transition process to be too difficult. I live around 2 hours away from Kingston, so I'd be back for a weekend every 2 months or so. From an academic perspective, you get 15 hours of class a week, and the rest of the time is juggled between team meetings, extracurricular activities, and really anything else that you can fit in there. Speaking from a social point, Queen's does really encourage you to go out and meet as many different people as you can, especially in different programs. So through orientation week and on my residence floor, I was really able to meet a lot of like-minded individuals. I found the workload to be quite manageable in first year. I know second year is when it really starts to pick up. But for those who do need the extra support, there are a lot of resources available from the Students' Academic Success Services.
I was actually really surprised about how easy the transition was from high school to university. My first week, I was really stressed out because I couldn't really understand how to make friends like in a lecture setting where everyone's just sitting next to each other and like you have to start up a conversation with a stranger. But soon enough, I found that the university hosts so many events to get to know people in your degree, and before you know it, once you find a few friends, you'll meet so many others, and the transition is super, super easy.
The transition from high school to university was quite simple. Right off the bat, I met amazing people and had an amazing one-on-one week, which I highly recommend. However, this might not be for everyone. There are multiple clubs and different social events which do appeal to everyone and make everyone's university experience as enjoyable.
Now, if I were to speak about my transition from a high school to university, I would say it was a bit difficult at the beginning. But Western made it easy in the way that there's so many opportunities for you to make friends and meet new people. Starting from O week to orientation week, all the way through with all the clubs and courses that you have, the social community at Western is very strong. You can engage with new people if you want to, make new friends, and create your own tribe, basically.
I think that my overall transition from high school to university in the beginning was a bit of a shock. I thought that I was completely ready for it. I thought that I would enjoy my time. But first semester, I had a lot of big realizations just because there's not a lot of people in my program. There's only about 60 people. And I didn't have like many friends in my program, and all my classes were with the same people. So I was having difficulty adjusting to that because going into university, I thought that I would have different people in each of my classes. I'd be able to talk to different people, but it was a bit hard in the beginning. But towards the end, I kind of embraced my program and I tried to be a part of it more. And I honestly made friends in many other different residences. So overall, like towards second semester, everything got so much easier. I enjoyed my time so much more, and I really, really, really love all the friends that I made. I really couldn't imagine my university experience without them.
My transition to Brock University was very easy because the small school feel made it very similar to what I was used to in high school. In terms of classrooms, there were mostly 40 people maximum in my major courses, which made it very easy to ask questions and participate within your class. In terms of meeting new people, it was very easy because it's projects that encourage collaboration, allowing you to meet new people and find new interests with them.
So my transition from high school to university was honestly pretty scary because I was going into a new university, new city, knowing no one. But honestly, I would say if you aren't shy and afraid to just be yourself, then you should have no problem settling just fine. Talk to your classmates, be approachable, and attend clubs and find others within your program. For me, I was lucky enough to find people within my residence that were also in my program, so that helped a lot to create a study schedule and as well as settle in.
The transition from high school to university wasn't really that difficult. Like, don't believe anyone that tells you, oh, you're going to find it so hard the first year. It's really not. And you make friends pretty fast. Honestly, you'll just sit in the lecture, the person beside you, at some point you'll talk to them, you'll like help each other study, you'll ask them questions, you'll make friends pretty fast and pretty easily. Settling in university honestly wasn't that difficult. It was pretty quick, and you get used to it really fast. Academically though, it's weird. The first couple months are like really slow, and then there's midterms and you're just dead. Like everything just rains on you. In like a week you have like everything due in 1 second.
I cannot explain in words how beautiful University of Toronto is. Like, you have to come see it. There are parts where the architecture is really modern. Like, we have a building where there's a bamboo garden inside the building that's so beautiful. And then you have like the typical UofT that everybody knows, which is Trinity, University College, high arcs, like beautiful gardens, things like that. John, can you add pictures? Just like put pictures of UofT here because it's so pretty. There are some sketchy places at UofT, like Sid Smith isn't the prettiest. I might get a lot of hate for saying that, but places like Sid Smith aren't the prettiest, but every university has its sketchy places. I think University of Toronto has the least, with some bias.
Personally, I love UBC's Vancouver campus. It's an amazing campus. If I'm speaking more exclusive to UBC because this is the only campus I really know. We have everything anyone could want in a campus. If you can name something, it's probably here. We have a variety of faculties, obviously, and then there's so many learning spaces where I generally tend to go to a lot of libraries which are on campus, and I go to a lot of cafes and stuff just to get some work done. So it's a very nice environment to be in, and there are also, I think, one of the awesome things about UBC is its location, and we're in kind of like a peninsula. So there are a lot of beaches on UBC. There's a Wreck Beach and Tower Beach. They're all clothing optional beaches, which is pretty interesting for a university. But this is just based on the heritage of the university, and it's an amazing place. Maybe one evening you've had a long day of work and you just want to relax for a bit, so you just call some of your friends and you go down to Wreck Beach. Maybe you have a bonfire and you just sort of sit around and talk. It's a very nice place to be. Obviously, there are a lot of places on campus where you can meet up. Our first year residences, which if you're going to first year, you will be staying in there, is amazing. You get to meet so many new people. You get to have so many activities, so many events. It's honestly the best experience any first year could have, is that first year dorm experience. Everything put together, from the restaurants, from the cafes, from the learning spaces, the classrooms, and the people, obviously the people in UBC, the students and the faculty, they sort of make this university a very nice place to be at.
Despite Kingston being known as a smaller city, I felt like the Queen's campus had a lot to offer. We are lucky to have the pier right next to us. It's a great place to study as well as relax. The Queen's campus is split into two main areas, the main campus as well as the West campus, which houses some residence buildings as well as classrooms. But in terms of convenience, it's a lot more convenient to be on main campus. The Queen's campus has two main dining halls as well as several other locations where you can spend your meal credits, including Pizza, Tim Hortons, Pita Pit, and many others. Included in your tuition is access to the athletics and recreation facility, as well as a bus pass to go downtown. Walking distance downtown takes less than 10 minutes, so you do have access to restaurants, grocery stores, as well as nightclubs close by.
As part of the double degree program, my home school is actually the University of Waterloo, and so I spend most of my time there. And I actually love the campus. It's really sprawled out, and they have like sections for different faculties. And I just love, discovering cute little spots in different areas. As for Laurier, whenever I'm there, I spend all my time in the business building, which is absolutely beautiful. So many cute study spots, so that's definitely a place to check out if you do go there.
The University of Ottawa, by far without a doubt, has the best campus in the city of Ottawa. This is because we're actually placed in downtown, and we're a 5 minutes walk from the Rideau Canal, the Rideau Center, the Shaw Center, as well as the Byward Market. And now for the actual university. We have a multitude of different buildings and a variety of study spots across campus, which makes it easy for people to study. Now to break one of the biggest myths that there is, you don't need tunnels to get across the university. This is because basically all our buildings are connected and we can get from one end to the other in the winters without stepping outside.
So if you enjoy the city life just as much as me, then you love the Ryerson University campus. It's located right downtown Toronto, just circling Yonge and Dundas Square, and everything is within a 5-minute walk from your classes, restaurants, places to study, your residencies, from there.
Now, Western University as a campus is, I think, absolutely beautiful. Each building has its own aesthetic.
Like I said earlier, I really like the Carleton campus. It's really nice, to be honest. And our campus has tunnels in it, which is honestly amazing. Like in the winter, they just save your life and you almost never have to deal with the snow or the cold or anything except when you have to catch a bus. So yeah, the tunnels are absolutely amazing. Not many universities have them at all, so I love that about our campus. But other than that, the campus itself is actually really nice. And actually for business, we're getting a new building that I think is going to be done by the end of this year. So if you're in high school, by the time you're in second year, you're going to have our own building and it's going to be the newest building on campus. So that's pretty great.
So I've actually talked about this a lot with people from different universities. And I talked about how, U of T is very spread out. It's all throughout the city, whereas Mac is one big circle. So it's kind of like a community of people. It really makes me feel like I'm at home whenever I'm at Mac, because the buildings are literally just in this formation. It's just a big circle, and all the buildings for, medicine, business, social sciences, all of them are just surrounding each other. So it's nice because you always see people walking on campus throughout the day, and there's a big sense of community.
I love my campus at Brock University. It's full of biking and hiking trail. In fact, it has the Bruce Trail, which is known as the longest and oldest trail in Canada. which takes you from Brock University to Niagara Falls. As well as there's many study spaces outside, which takes advantage of the very warm weather. The coldest it gets is -10. As well as, if you get sick of the small town, you can go straight to Niagara Falls with a 30-minute drive, where there's many things to do there because of the large city.
Personally, I love studying outside when the weather allows us to do so. I like studying at the quad of Woodsworth Residence, where there's like tables that you can study on. The fields of UC in front campus, just like sitting, leaning against a tree. The last one is, if you live at Woodsworth Residence, the high floors of the residence building where the study rooms are the most beautiful study spots, and you have like an entire 180-degree view of the Toronto skyline. It's so beautiful. John, can you add a picture? I'll send you some.
I love a library. It's called the Irving K. Barber Library, and we just call it IKB. It's known as the Harry Potter Library because it just looks like a Harry Potter-esque architecture. I really like it because it's sort of a nice, soothing place, but everyone is also studying around you, so it sort of motivates you that since everyone else is studying, you don't exactly tend to procrastinate. I really like it because it's also close to all my classes, and I can sort of hang around there in between classes or even after classes since it stays open until 1 a.m. It's open 24 hours during the exam period, but I tend not to stay there for 24 hours because that may not be the best idea. You also meet a lot of your friends in IKB. Of course, it's a quiet library, but if I meet a couple of my friends, or I tend to go with my friends to the library, we sort of hang around at the cafes in the library and we used to sort of talk there. It's just a very nice community and place to be at. People joke that it's my home, like a lot of my friends joke about that. And I just really like the fact that when I need to study, I can just go there and I can just sort of get into that flow, that focused mode. I can also have that social interaction with friends and people that I know in the cafes that are there, but also know that there's a nice place where I can study and put all my focus in.
So I was actually pretty lucky. I did manage to secure a single room in Victoria Hall. So I did most of my studying there. And my roommate was actually commerce. So whenever I didn't understand anything, I would always run over to his room and go bother him. But if you do end up in a double or triple or quad, there are a lot of other opportunities and different locations to study across campus. You can always go to a residence common room. Keep in mind that those do usually end up getting pretty packed, especially during exam season. We also do have both Stauffer Library as well as Douglas Library. The higher you go, actually, the quieter it is, so it really depends on what kind of studying you're looking to do.
As for Laurier, like I mentioned, the best study spot to go to is inside the Lazarides School of Business. They have cubicles, glass cubicles in the building on all of the floors, which are the most perfect places to study. In Waterloo, my favorite study spot is actually quite an interesting one. It's actually in the Earth Science Building, which is basically a building full of dinosaur exhibits, which sounds kind of random, but it has some really cute spots that you can go to, and you're surrounded by so much history, which I love, and so that's usually where I go to study.
If I were to speak about a place I'd like to study on campus or be at, I wouldn't say there's one specifically just because I like studying in my own room. But the Physics and Astronomy building is absolutely beautiful because it's quite simple. Or I like studying at the Fireside Lounge in the University Community Center because there's a bit of background noise and it looks over the lounge and you can see what new events are happening there.
My favorite study spot in the University of Ottawa is in the DMS library, obviously because it's in the best faculty, but as well as because there's basically no one there and you can always study in peace without no one disturbing you.
So my favorite place to study on campus would be the Ryerson Student Living Center, which is run by Ryerson students, and it has a Starbucks and a library and consists of 7 floors that you can choose from with different themes and study access for Ryerson students only. My favorite floor would probably be the 7th floor because you get a great view of the Toronto city, and as well as you can book quiet study rooms for when you're doing group work and as well as final exams.
I don't really study in one place, to be honest. I'm always moving around. But if I had to choose like one favorite place, it would probably be the 4th floor of the library. Another part of it where it's kind of like by the window where you can see the quad, you can see like garden and the trees and all that. So it's not as quiet as the loud part of the floor. So I like that area, and it's a nice view. You're right beside the window, and it's quieter. You can study with friends, but also like you can put like your headphones in and you're completely tuned out. So I like that part.
This past year, I changed study spots a lot, but I feel like my favorite study spot would probably be in the new building that Mac actually opened this past year. It's called Peter George. It's a residence and It's also a building where people can study. So I really, really like that building because there's lots of windows around. I feel like I need a lot of lighting when I study. I don't know why, but yeah, probably Peter George.
My favorite spot on campus to study is definitely the Faith and Life Center. It's surrounded by beautiful trees and a beautiful trail that takes you straight to Niagara Falls. It feels like a beautiful and peaceful escape when you have a bustling university right next to it. If you're lucky, you can see the changing colors and as well as free coffee when you're there, which is always enjoyable when you're studying for midterms.
I personally don't have a lot to say about this because I did just finish my first year, so there wasn't a lot of like career recruitment or things like that going on. But I personally think that Rotman provides a really good support network for you. They have career advisors, they have academic advisors, and you have like personal ones that are tailored to you. It's just reaching out, booking those appointments, getting that support for yourself. My experience with my career advisor was beyond amazing. She said that she could like link me up with alumni that are in a career that I would potentially want to go into so I could talk to them. She gave me her LinkedIn and told me to go through her connections and see if there was anybody that I would want to work with or work under, and then she would personally reach out to them and see if they had any opportunities available. So I think Rotman does a really good job at providing that support, and I think that's a recent shift they just made, so props to them. We don't have co-op like other programs do. At least I think we don't. Fact check me, John.
So I'll jump in quickly. Pretty much for you to graduate from Rotman Commerce, you need to have 20 credits, which means that for the 4-year period, you'll need to have 5 full-year equivalents for each one. So in order for you to have space to do a co-op and still graduate in 4 years, you would have to have high school transfer credits and potentially take summer school courses to have, that extra leverage so you can take co-op. So that being said, it isn't very common for Rotman Commerce students to do co-op. They tend to do summer internships, which are 4 months from May to August. However, it is possible. There are a few listings on the Rotman portal for either fall or winter co-op. If you're feeling really adventurous, you can do a PEY, which is a professional experience year. So it's kind of a gap year dedicated to co-op, but that's more common amongst engineering and computer science students. Hope this helps. Get back to the video.
So although I'm in the Faculty of Science and I'm doing economics and statistics, I do want to go into business-related study later on. I hope to go into the consulting career and the consulting path. There are a lot of opportunities here for UBC students in consulting. We have a bunch of programs, mentorship programs, initiatives, clubs, which sort of gear you into the consulting route. There's one really renowned consulting, it's a mentorship program. It's called the Strategy Consulting Management Mentorship Program, which is basically taught by professors. It's a summer program, which is taught by professors and people who have or who are currently working at either the Big Four or more generally in the Big Three. It's a very competitive program, but admission into that program does guarantee you your first interview at a top firm. So it's either a Big Four or a Big Three or any of the other very top firms. And generally, you do get more interviews than just the one interview at one firm. And I like that guarantee, sort of that you go into this program and you do get that guarantee. But more so, you make so many connections, you network a lot during these events and during the program. And I just think it's a hugely great program. There's also the Strategy Consulting Initiative. There's a consulting club. There's a 180 Degrees Consulting Club. And there are just a bunch of other consulting types of clubs that are here at UBC. There's also other options. Accounting is huge. Marketing is huge in UBC. I haven't looked into that personally. Investment banking, there are a lot of clubs in investment banking as well, as far as I know. I haven't really looked into investment banking since I don't think that's my route. But I do know a lot of friends who are trying to go into investment banking. And there are a lot of banks do come to UBC. Some American banks also do come to UBC, which is great for exposure. And in terms of consulting firms, we do have a lot of networking events, which is great. And I'm sure a lot of the business schools do have networking events. The networking events are really important during your time at university. And so at the Sauder Business School, you should network as much as possible. What I like to think of is that as a Sauder student, that's part of your degree, is the networking and the people you meet. So try to networking as much as you can in UBC, since UBC gives so many number of events in all different types of disciplines that you will never feel like you haven't networked enough. So as long as you go out there and step out of your comfort zone and go and network and just don't be lazy and just don't stay in your dorm, I think you can make the most out of it. The UBC alumni network is quite intense. There are obviously a lot of alumni in a whole variety of companies. You can have the top firms, obviously, any investment banking, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, and we have consulting, McKinsey, Bain, BCG. KPMG is a huge recruiter in UBC, partly because I think it was the global CEO went to UBC, so I think that do have that sweet spot for UBC students. but it's obviously great that KPMG does come quite a lot. The alumni network is quite intense, and if you find an alumni that studied at UBC and they worked at the company, I've reached out to a couple of people, and they've been so open, they've been so happy to help me. That it's really nice just to have a coffee chat with somebody, regardless of even if I'm interested in their career or not. It's just to understand, just to know the person, just to build that network. So I think that's super important. That's UBC does that really well. There's also co-op. Co-op is huge at UBC. There's Sauder Co-op. So Sauder Co-op, the Sauder Business School, has an intense and amazing co-op program. They have a wide range of connections with some of the top firms in Canada and in the world. And a lot of people go on to do their co-op terms at some of the top firms, whether it be the big 5 banks in Canada or even in the United States. The other faculties, such as the Faculty of Science and Faculty of Arts and other faculties, do have co-ops as well. They're also very reputed. If you're, for example, into computer science, then the Faculty of Science is very strong in their co-op, and they do send people to some of the big firms, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, etc. One thing I'd probably like to add is that UBC also offers a program called BUCK, which is a really neat program. It's Business and Computer Sciences combined major, which you'll get a Bachelor of Commerce in Business and Computer Science, where you do learn about business, you do learn about computer science and the integration of the two. So it's great if you're looking into going into entrepreneurship later on, and you still want that strong computer science background with that strong business background. So I think it's a really cool program if you're interested in looking into.
Queen's Commerce provides countless opportunities for its students to be involved, especially in the aspect of career development. They have a strong reputation of 98% of grads being employed within 6 months. So in order to hold that reputation, they have 3 main resources that I'll touch upon to really help students in the workplace. And the first one is the Career Advancement Center, where throughout your 4 years, students have access to unlimited coaching with professionals across all different industries, where you can book an appointment for anything from discussing your resume to doing a mock interview or even asking for general career advice. There's also Smith Connect, which is an app or a website where Smith students can reach out to a past alumni to set up a coffee chat or ask for advice in a wide variety of industries. And lastly, I want to touch upon the extracurricular involvement opportunities, including clubs and conferences that are available to first years and honestly to any other student. You can choose to actually be a part of the club, or you can join a conference and meet like-minded individuals there. Regardless, there are so many opportunities to get involved, and Smith will definitely prepare you well.
So the double degree computer science and business program really prepares you for the business world, because not only are you learning business, you kind of have that extra edge with your computer science skills, and especially with that, it kind of gives you a competitive advantage when you're looking for things like co-op, which is part of the program.
Now, speaking about the business journey more specifically, prior to the Richard Ivey School of Business, you have 2 years to pursue any undergraduate program you'd like. I myself chose the history program because it's a keen interest of mine. My friends alike chose economics and computer science just because they knew that they can do the work and they're passionate about it to follow through with it. Because you do have to maintain an 80% average for you to keep your accelerated entry option for Ivy, or remain competitive if you'd like to apply at the end of second year.
Telford has an amazing business program. It has excellent professors, an outstanding co-op program, which is one of the best in Canada. This not only helps us meet our employers as well as create meaningful connection with coworkers, it helps us mold our futures into something incredible.
The Brock Accounting program has really helped me prepare for the business world. In terms of extracurriculars, I've done the DECA stock pitch, which has helped me really think on my toes, and as well as work on my PowerPoint skills and my presentation skills. Another big thing is I've been elected as the Accounting Student Association president in my first year, which has been a huge honor, allowing me to build my network and as well as work on my leadership skills and my soft skills, as well as returning what Brock has really given me and allowing the incoming students to have the best experience possible. In terms of co-op, when you're in co-op, you're allowed to be in the co-op 0-90 class, which allows you to work on your resume and your cover letter and your networking skills, preparing you for the future job hunts. When you're in co-op, you gain a ton of work experience in very different industries, and if you're really good, you can get a return offer offer within your co-op. In terms of the alumni, they've been super helpful. They helped me through thick and thin, and since the small school feel, it really feels like you're in a family.
So my program actually gives me a lot of insight and helps me prepare for how business would be in the real life world. My first year, you study business in every sector, from stats, economics, accounting, marketing, and just gets you comfortable and see what works best for you to pick your major in second year. And additionally, they offer a lot of co-op options to choose from and networking events, as well as case competitions just to help you prepare.
Sprott does a pretty great job at like setting you up for the rest of your career. We have our own business career management center, which is separate from the whole university's career management center. It's just for the business students. They can help you with building your resume, interviewing skills, landing a job, looking for a job, cover letters. They can help you with anything related to like getting a job or getting a co-op. They also have pretty good connections with like the government and all that when it comes to co-ops. They have pretty good co-op placements. But also, other than that, we have Monday weekly newsletter where you get like any new events coming up with companies. So like networking events, any of that, and any job placements, any of those things, you can find them on the Sprott weekly newsletter.
This is actually kind of funny because my program, Art Sciences, is not really a business program. Initially, before I got to Mac, I was in business journalism. I wanted to go to Rotman or Queen's Commerce, but I also knew that like my heart was drawn towards many different areas and I didn't just want to choose one niche. So, you know, Art Sciences not only prepares you for business, but also prepares you for the real world because it tests your critical thinking a lot. I'm taking a statistics class soon. Actually, I think second year, and it doesn't just cover, you know, stats. It covers critical thinking and how you learn, and also just in general, like Art Sciences is very small, so we have a lot of events that we host, you know, good networking events. We have this event called the New World of Work Forum where alumni in all sorts of different fields, including business, talked about their experiences. So I'd say my program prepares me for not only business related career, but everything, I guess.
As you enter Western University, I'd encourage you to get involved with many different events and competitions that happen with notable clubs, such as the Pre-Business Student Network, the Western Founders Network, and Western Investment Club, each one with its diverse skill set, but diverse events as well. You'll be able to build professional skills, such as resume building, interviewing, and networking, with many different industry professionals coming to visit. A lot of individuals feel that because we're in London, we don't have as much access to many of those big companies. But quite honestly, all of our events involved at least one huge brand or notable company, such as Google or Microsoft, the big four accounting and consulting firms. So you won't feel left out because you'll have access to speak to these recruiters and individuals throughout the year. I know a lot of people's concern is working for the summer. And that is a valid concern because at Western we do not have a co-op program. But you are equipped with the skills throughout the year with a lot of these events happening where you can engage with a mentor that can help guide you. And I know that helped myself a lot to acquire a position for the summer. If you have questions regarding this, I really encourage you to reach out to individuals who are already in the Western University so they can give you a first-hand look. If you feel like you have any more questions for myself, feel free to hit me up on Malik the Nomad on Instagram. But if I were to leave you with anything as a business student going forward, I would say really get yourself out there in the first 2 years of university. Business is a huge world, and there is a place for you, and you just need to find it. In order for you to find it, follow your passion and interests. Don't stray away from it, because at the end of the day, that is what will make you happy doing business.
Okay, 5 things. Firstly, find out what things you like. Business is so big. There are endless opportunities. You can go into arts. You can go into creative consulting. You can go into film production. You can go into investment banking. You can screw it, go to law school, go into corporate law. And that sounds daunting, but it's really calming to know that with a Bachelor of Commerce, you have so many possibilities. The first thing that I would do is start like discovering what kind of things you like. And one way to do that is look at course descriptions and see what excites you. So if you read the course description for the UofT accounting course and you're like, oh, this seems boring, probably because like you might not like accounting, versus like the marketing one will sound really fun to you. If you are still in a place in high school where you can take economics, my biggest recommendation is take it if your school offers it. I didn't take it and I felt like I struggled a little bit in university because of it, without that background knowledge. So definitely take it if you still can, even if you're going into something like marketing. Thirdly, get involved in your high school and also in university. So in high school, don't do things just for an application, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, if you don't get in, you're gonna feel like you wasted time or you wasted parts of your life. So do things that truly make you happy, do things that you're passionate about, and that'll shine on your resume. If you're going into business, you don't have to do just business things. You don't have to do DECA if you don't like DECA. You don't have to do debate if you don't like it. Just do things that you're passionate about. Hi, I'm so sorry. My camera battery died and now the sun is setting, so the lighting is a little off, but I'm just gonna finish up here. I ended off by saying that you should get involved in high school and things that you're passionate about, not just for an application. This also applies for your first year of university. Get involved, join clubs. A lot of people go in with the mindset that it's going to be academically rigorous, so I'm not going to touch any clubs for now, and if that's what you need to do, that's okay. But I feel clubs help. They help keep you happier, they help keep you balanced, and you'll meet upper years that'll help you in your courses. Fourth, don't stress, breathe. You'll get accepted to a program. You'll end up where you need to be. Whichever school you choose, whichever program you'll choose, you'll be happy, you'll be successful, you'll make the most out of it. So just keep thinking that, don't stress. I remember being unnecessarily panicked during the university selection time. And lastly, coming from University of Toronto, I feel like I personally have to address this. University of Toronto isn't known as the best school when responding to students' mental health. But I think alongside the Students' Union, they've started to get a lot better, especially with COVID-19. Their response to it has been like amazing compared to some of the other schools in the opportunities that they allowed for students, like unlimited credit, no credit, even towards program requirements. So my biggest advice for incoming freshmen to the University of Toronto is keep in check with your mental health. If you feel like you are no longer happy, if you feel too overwhelmed, if you feel too stressed, and you might be dealing with some kind of mental illness, get in touch with doctors. Get in touch with the doctors that they have on campus. They have so many programs for mental health. You just kind of have to find them and reach out to them yourself. So do try your best in that aspect. As students, as a community, we're trying to make it better. Overall, completely unbiased, I do hope you choose the University of Toronto because you'll have so much fun.
I think one of the things that would be great is if you know exactly what you want to do very early on. So for example, if I was in high school and I knew I wanted to go into investment banking, that would have been very easy for me. I would just go onto all the investment banking clubs. I would go onto all the investment banking events, and it would just be this golden path set for my success. But of course, we all don't know that. I personally, I know I'm into consulting, but I don't know for sure. And it's just one of those things where you do have to try out and you do have to learn about things, and don't have preconceived notions. For example, if you have preconceived notions that, oh, marketing may just not be for me, or accounting may just not be for me, just try to go and try to explore the different specializations, the different options, and see, because a lot of your preconceived notions may be because of what other people have told you, but not because of what you truly think. And also another thing, one of my father's friends told me about this, is that if you're completely lost, which I was a couple of months ago, I did not exactly know what I wanted to do until I came to the consulting route. He said, look at your strengths, look at who you are as a person, look at your character, and try to jot down your strengths and then see what career path is right for you. For me, for example, I love public speaking. I love my leadership skills. I love talking to people. I love socializing with people. I love problem solving. I love math. It's just all this combination of these attributes of my skills that did lead me to the fact that, okay, consulting looks like an interesting job. So I'm going to try to pursue consulting for now. But if I do find something else, I'm definitely open to it. So definitely as you go into university, as you want to study business, it's very important that you go into university with that open mind and not that narrow mind that I'm just going to do this for my entire year of university. A lot of people think of university as a place of self-discovery. I understand that some universities do not have that option. I know university in the UK is where you go into the university with a major and you pretty much have to stick with that major for the entirety of your degree. I do know that Canadian universities are quite lenient with that. UBC, for one, is quite lenient. In your first year, if you try to change, you generally do not have to take any extra years. It won't be another burden to your degree. However, if you try to switch in your second or third year, then it would possibly add more courses to your program, which means you would have to probably extend your degree. I know in the United States, if you are going to study in the United States, it's very free. For most of the universities, more like a liberal arts kind of approach, where you can choose whatever major you want to do regardless. A tip I would have for anyone wanting to study business is do come with an open mind. do know your strengths, do network as much as possible. It doesn't matter if you're networking with a nonprofit and you have nothing to do with a nonprofit. Somehow that person can help you in the future. There can be that one X person that knows the other Y person who can land you your next job, which could possibly be your dream job. So never take networks for granted. Even if they're working at a low position at a company you're not interested in at all, they're still important, because when you tap into one network, you tap into their network as well. And as you grow your network by let's say 50, you're actually growing it you're exponentially growing it. And I think that's very important. And enjoying university as well. I think a lot of people will take this for granted. University is going to be the best time of your life, most likely. I would say don't immerse yourself too much into studying. Don't study 24/7. You might get the best job, but you'll probably miss out on the opportunities of university. So try to make the most out of what university has to offer, the events, the parties, anything that you're into, clubs as well. And do keep studies as a priority, but do understand that you have to balance out.
My biggest piece of advice would be to really put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to reach out, especially to upper year students. They are definitely here to help you, and they're more than happy to take you on a coffee chat or give you advice from anything on academics or the transition process, specific career paths, or even clubs that you want to join. I know that I had a lot of upper years that I reached out to regularly, and they definitely were helpful in providing me with their insight and their experience. And I feel like reaching out to upper years is really great practice for coffee chats as well. Maybe sometimes you don't feel as comfortable chatting directly with a recruiter, but upper year students do have that level of experience that they're able to share from their perspective, while you get to chat in a less intimidating environment.
So for high school students who want to study business, the biggest tip that I can give is to really seek all the opportunities around you. When you're going to a business school, you'll find that the school itself gives you a lot of opportunities, whether it's through case competitions, which are a great way to learn, or funding that they give to startups. So really try and get out there, try different things, involve yourself in different activities, and really immerse yourself in the business world and try to get as much experience as you can, because that experience is so invaluable and you'll learn so much more from that than you will in lectures.
Going into university might be intimidating or might be exciting. It depends on who you are. But the University of Ottawa has something for everyone. This is a great place for you to discover who you are and meet different types of people. The only advice I can actually give you is study hard for your exams. It doesn't matter how well you're doing until midterms or on the way to the exam. If you do bad on those exams, it's not going to look the best.
A big thing with business is that you have to have really strong communication skills. Just by networking and talking to people, you can build your whole career. Like, if you think about it, just by having one connection, you can build your whole career up. And so, if first year things don't go to plan, and there's nothing much to stress about, because you have to trust the process and trust that there's other ways to navigate your way through the business world. Also, I just want to say, it's okay to not know exactly what you want to do. I know many of you might have a specific path that you're trying to follow, but say throughout the way you get kind of lost, it's okay to not know what you want to do, because experiencing different things in the field of business might help you realize what you don't like and what you like. And you just have to be prepared for both successes and failures. That's a big thing that I learned, because I know people in Rotman and Queen's Commerce, and I know that a lot of people have to work their butts off. So yeah, just be prepared for all the good and all the bad.
I would say especially if you're younger than grade 12, try to take any business courses that your school offers, like accounting, introduction to business, economics, anything really, because you're definitely going to redo it again in first year. So if you already did it in high school, it's just going to be a review for you. But also, if you're heading into university, I would say the thing that surprised me the most was how relaxed and how slow everything is for the first few weeks before midterms and before exams, and then everything becomes chaos. So I would say prepare everything, do everything beforehand. And I know that they always say that, but it's actually true. Just try to plan everything, and it's really going to help. I didn't, and I had a hard time because of that. So yeah, try to do that and just have fun. Don't stress. It's not really as bad as they make it out to be. Not even close. It's fun. You're going to like it a lot. You have way more freedom than in high school. Plan everything beforehand. Know what you're doing. Don't leave everything for the last minute. But other than that, yeah, it's great. Just have fun.
My advice for students planning on studying business would just be to learn how to plan your time, study regularly, find connections in the business world, and as well as discover your learning style and what you want to specialize in, because business is so vast that whether it be finance, economics, entrepreneurship, or something else, you'll find your own specific interest.
My biggest advice to any high schoolers that are planning to pursue business is to diversify yourself. Yes, you are a business student, but you can also try new skills in different fields. This makes you a more competitive and appealing candidate when recruiters are looking at you.
So thank you so much to everyone who made this video possible. It wouldn't have been the same without you. And for those of you who are still in high school, deciding which program you want to pursue and you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of the people in the video, as well as shoot me a message if you have any recommendations for the future. And thank you so much once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.